Look what came in the mail today! Hey there, YouTubers! Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Doctor Who 7th Doctor and Renegade Dalek 2-pack from Remembrance of the Daleks. So I'm going to start things off by looking at the packaging. It's a nice big window box which extends all the way to the top. Hello. And it has the nice diamond logo saying Doctor Who with the Hartnell intro in the background. It's got the really nice diamond effects around the edges. It says ages 5 and up. It says what the set includes on the bottom, 7th Doctor. At the side you can see an image of the 7th Doctor himself by Sylvester McCoy, and there just says what it includes, more of the Doctor Who logo up there. On the back we have the logo yet again, a picture of the 7th Doctor which looks slightly illustrated, if I can just focus in on that. Looks slightly illustrated, can't really see it as well on camera, but better in person. And then you have an image of the Renegade Dalek. There's a little bio on each of the characters in the set, so you can just pause that if you want to read that. I'm not going to waste time. At the bottom, we have the timeline from the 4th to the 9th Doctor, just barely. And at the side, there's a picture of the 7th Doctor and Ace. And you have more of what the set includes. So it's a very nice box. It shows off the figures quite well. And it also contains a little backdrop, if I can just get the plastic out. It contains a nice backdrop from the beginning of the episode in Totter's Lane. I believe that's what it's called, Totter's Lane. Cool. So, that's the packaging sorted out, and now we can get along with the actual figures. So we're going to start off by looking at the 7th Doctor from this set. The Doctor in this set isn't really what you would call a highly anticipated figure, considering the fact that it's basically a hybrid between two existing 7th Doctor figures. The body you can find quite easily in the single-carded release of the 7th Doctor, or on the Imperial Dalek 2-pack, released back in 2009, I think. The head is available in the 11th Doctor's 11th Doctor's 2-pack, It's available in the 11 Doctors Collector's set. However, it is good to get this 7th Doctor, considering the fact that it would be kind of a waste of money to get like a £50 set with all the Doctors just for one piece of the set, which is the head of the 7th Doctor. So that's quite pointless in order to do that, but now that we have a much cheaper release of this figure, it's nice to see that, and it's a good thing too, because I've kind of... Well, I tried making a Sherlock Holmes figure out of the 7th Doctor's head, well, using the 7th Doctor's head from that figure, and it's kind of stuck that way. So it's nice to have a nice, fresh face. Nevertheless, the figure is very well detailed. Starting with the head sculpt, if I can focus in, you can see that it is undeniably Sylvester McCoy, as his portrayal in Doctor Who. The hair sculpt is very nice. It seems to have a little bit of a grayish wash to it. I'm not quite sure. Can't really see it on camera, but in hand... Oh, yeah, there you go. You can kind of see very, very small kind of dabs of gray in the hair. which is nice. It gives it a more realistic feel. The head is quite nice. You can see blue eyes on the Doctor, and the nice bushy eyebrows. The tie is in its correct red, except I think it should be slightly darker. And of course the pattern isn't extremely accurate, neither as on the scarf. But then again, trying to squeeze that all in a 5-inch figure, you can kind of forgive them. The jumper is very nice with the distinguishable question marks going down it. Unfortunately, there are 7 rows of question marks instead of 6, which is a long-running error in these figures. The chain is also gold when it should be silver, and actually, when I was watching Remembrance of the Daleks, most of the time the 7th Doctor has the chain under his scarf, In fact, I'm not really too sure if he has it clipped onto his lapel at all in the story. I haven't really noticed it. But, the more detail, the better. The little handkerchief hanging out is also incorrect on the pattern, but nevertheless, like I said, squeezing it on a small scale, still quite nice. The jacket is in a nice kind of creamish color, with a little button at the back and all the nice seams and creases and everything. You've got a closed pocket here, whereas this one is opened. The trousers are quite nice with the checkered details. And then the nice, the spats on the shoes, which, if I could get some better lighting, you'd be able to see. Well, you can kind of see it on this shoe. It's quite nice. They're kind of like a darkish brown, really, with the white on top. And you can see they're kind of rolled up at the bottom, seeing as this Doctor, I think, was the shortest of them all, and I don't think the trousers really fit him quite well. So that's the 7th Doctor's detail. Now if we take a look at the articulation, you can see the head can twist around 360 degrees, but I really don't want to damage the paint on the neck. The arms can move all the way around. The biceps can turn. Elbows can bend at 90 degrees, but they're quite stiff. Wrists can turn at a 360 degree. You get the picture. Waist, 360 degrees. The legs can go out, but the coat kind of hinders it. These joints, I forget what they're called, they can turn, and the legs can bend at 90 degrees, but are also quite stiff. So, overall, the articulation, just as any other Doctor Who figure, is good enough for moi. One thing that is quite annoying about this pack is that the 7th Doctor does not contain his question mark umbrella. This is a pretty iconic piece of the Doctor, the 7th Doctor, and if you've never gotten a figure of this before, then that is going to be quite annoying. However, if it's someone like me who already has a 7th Doctor and you already own the umbrella, well, then you kind of know what you can expect. In fact, if I can just concentrate for a minute. Just a minute. Now we can move on to the most anticipated part of this set, the Renegade Dalek. If you already own a Dalek action figure, or if you've seen my first review of the Sound Effects Imperial Dalek, then you'll kind of know what to expect for the articulation of this Dalek. But in case you don't know, I'll just quickly run through it. The head can turn 360 degrees. The eye stalk can move up and down. It's quite stiff. Ball and socket joint for the gun and the sucker arm. And it's on, if I can catch that in the light, 3 wheels. This one, of course, turns. Taking a look at the head of the Dalek, or the dome, you can see, well, firstly, that the Dalek is cast in this really nice dark gray, which is exactly what the Daleks were like in this story. The dome lights, if I can focus in, there we go, are a kind of darkish color, a bit like the dark gray, but they're still transparent, as you can see. They've also got a nice little black outline around the bottom, if you can see that. The eye stalk came in the pack quite bent. I'm not sure if I can show you that. I've managed to straighten it out. When I took it out of the pack, it was quite bent, mainly towards this way, but I managed to straighten it out since then. The main, piece of the eye stalk is in black, and then we have kind of like a very light kind of blue, maybe like a lightish gray for the rings, and then we have the black lens. Now, originally, oh yeah, and of course we have the black pupil. Now, originally, the Dalek came with a white iris, and in these stories, in this story, all of the Daleks have a silver iris. This was something that I really, really wanted to correct, and I just couldn't wait till filming the review to actually correct it, so I've already gone ahead and painted it. However, if we go back to the unboxing of this set, you can see quite clearly that it's cast in white color. Neckbin is quite standard. It's got the dark grey rings with the little poles going up. Where the head is just kind of popping up. I already unscrewed it. And there's kind of a blackish mesh in the middle. I'm not sure if you can see. Can you, please? You can kind of see a little grating between the rings, which is quite cool. Now, the slats. This is where things get quite interesting, because on the original release of this Dalek, the slats were exactly the same as the Imperial Dalek slats, in the fact that they were all smooth. There was no mesh, no bolts, no nothing. Technically, there should be mesh in the middle here, which, as you can see, there is, but on the original release, there wasn't. This was something that a lot of the fans of these Daleks were quite annoyed about. Frankly, I didn't really give a poo, but I could kind of see what they were angry at. Thankfully, in this pack, they've already corrected it. However, there was still a problem. The slats were painted in dark gray. This really was a factory error, which, as you can see, I have already perfected. I've already gotten a permanent marker and painted them black. Again, this was something I just couldn't stand to, keep until I was actually filming it, because I really wanted the Dalek to look its best, and I just couldn't wait. But, like I said, if we go back to the unboxing, then you can see it's in a dark gray. Looking at the rest of the Dalek and moving down, you can see that the gun and the sucker arm are all in black. You've got the nice gray oval in the middle. Now, the ball joints on this Dalek are in dark gray. This is technically correct and technically incorrect, because some of the Renegade Daleks in the story have black ball joints, and some of them have dark gray ones. The one at the very beginning that was blown up in Totter's Lane, that one had dark gray ball joints. However, and I think there are a few other ones in the rest of the episode that have dark gray ball joints, but some of them have black ball joints. It doesn't really matter. Technically, it's correct. It looks better with black ball joints, but, like I said, it doesn't really matter. You've got the nice black band going around here, and the skirt, unfortunately, is still molded in that average, 60s to early 80s look. Technically, the skirt should be much steeper, it should be maybe up to here, maybe, and there should be a gap between the band, this, and the hemispheres. I think they're supposed to be closer together, but there should be a gap there. And that, like I said, with the ball joints, the normal Daleks in this story, the average Daleks in this story, have that new mold. However, if you know of the whole hybrid story with the Daleks, of the two Daleks from the 60s, you'll know that Dalek survived into the 80s, and it actually made an appearance in Remembrance of the Daleks. You can actually see it when Ratcliffe finds out he's been betrayed, and there are two renegade Daleks that come into his office. One of them has the 60s skirt, and that's the hybrid Dalek. So, technically, it's correct, but I'm sure many people, including me, would have much rather seen the Dalek in its new proper mold. And then the little bumper at the bottom is just, a straight, there's no splits or anything, it's just one straight line going around, and you have the wheels at the bottom. So, overall, the detail is quite good, except for the very, very tiny details, such as the dark gray slats and the white on the pupil. But other than that, it's a very, very good Dalek. So, overall, what do I think of the 2-pack? Was it worth waiting about 2 months for, I think? Was it just a pile of garbage in the end? Well, it was worth it. Yes, it was. I absolutely love this set. That may just be me being biased because Remembrance of the Daleks is my top favorite story of all time, but, you know, then again, I don't really see how I could be considered as biased because, you know, it has its ups and it has its downs, but overall, it's a very, very good set. The only things which would bring the ratings down are that the Seventh Doctor does not have his umbrella, and the Dalek slats are in a dark gray. The iris I'm not even gonna bother with because I know some people just really don't care. Because sometimes when the sun shines on it, it looks white. So I'm not even gonna bother. But my overall ratings are probably gonna be about 9, maybe 8.5. Yeah, it's either 9 or 8.5 out of 10, just because of those two mistakes. And in fact, actually, I'm going to bring it down to 8.5 because this would have been a perfect chance to see the Seventh Doctor with his hat on his, gloomy face, and to see a new mold for the skirt. So I'm going to bring it down to 8.5 out of 10. But overall, it's a very good set, and as far as I know, it's a Toys R Us exclusive, but I got mine off Amazon, so for about like £20, I think. So it's not that bad, considering the fact they're getting 2 figures. But then again, they're just kind of, hybrids, I suppose. But if you're ever wandering around and you're trying to find something that you can spend your money on, and if you're a Doctor Who fan like me, particularly if you're a Seventh Doctor fan like me, I highly recommend getting this set. So that's all for now. I shall be seeing you in my next video, which will probably be my Lego Terminator that I made, or it will just be another video that I'll think of on the spot. So until then, please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you then. Bye.